Today's half price life advice comes from Candy from Florida. This is a kind of a long one. I'm in my late 20s, female, and live with my parents. I moved out almost immediately after high school and lived elsewhere from ages 19 to 26. Well, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say she's probably 26 or 27. I moved home 2 years ago after a breakup. Weird. But I feel like I can't take it anymore. My depression is worsening here. It's why I moved out in the first place. I have never been close with my parents. Having to be with them all day for 10 months in the pandemic is eating me alive. I feel that. I have more than enough savings to move out ASAP. The problem is I only work part-time right now, and my budget would become tighter than I'd like. Doable for sure, but tight. I have been looking for full-time work in the past year with no luck. I guess the advice I'm looking for is it worth it to move out and live on a tighter budget for the sake of my mental health?
Boy, it feels like you almost copied my fucking life story and put it into this fucking advice column.
I know, that's why I was kind of like
fuck.
chuckling a little bit, because I feel very close to this life advice question as well. But go ahead and give your breakdown, your 2 cents, Austin.
Boy, well, let's let Austin fucking spill his guts out a little here for a minute. I was in a very similar position to this. After I graduated high school, I had my full ride scholarship through the Army ROTC to Utah State University. So, 18 years old, move out, go to college. Freshman year, 4.0, doing good, top of my class in the Army class, just I'm having it. Sophomore year rolls around, fucking depression shoves its fucking fat dick up my ass. Jesus. And my whole world collapses down around me, right? Fucking, I fail all my classes. I fail out of the ROTC. I get kicked out of Utah State. Move back home, which home changed from being Elko to Spokane. Move back up in with my parents, spend the summer, try to go back to school at Eastern Washington University, fail out of there because I wasn't even close to being, I wasn't even really being treated after I left Utah State. And by the way, when I was in Utah, the fucking crackpot of a, free student clinic, mental health guy just had me on such a cocktail of drugs that the entire, second semester of that year was just a haze. He just had me fucking drugged. It might as well have been a chemical lobotomy. I was not even a human being anymore. So I moved back into my parents in that state of mind. So I definitely know where the fuck you're coming from, and it's fucking hard. And I definitely felt like, I wasn't myself, and living with my parents and, trying to live in the way that they wanted me to live, wasn't lining up with how I wanted to live. Just, So when it came time, my wife at the time, girlfriend, moved up here for job opportunities. She got a job. She moved in with my grandma's for a while until she saved up enough to get her own apartment. And she offered to take me in, come live with me. Let's live together. Let's get you out of your parents' house. Let's get you, cleaned up and sorted out. And then, you can get a job and help support. So she got me out of my parents' house, let me move in. And I was unemployed for 5-6 months, almost 7 months, that she was completely supporting me while I recovered. And once I was ready, I got a job and started supporting. And we lived extremely tight. We relied on, help from her parents. We relied on help from my parents, just to live independently and to get me, unfucked. But, it was worth it in the end because now I'm doing great. I just accepted a job offer for significantly more money, and we're actually going to be able to, go debt-free and live comfortably. So, moral of the story, it is absolutely 100% worth your mental health to get out of the situation that's causing the problems. If you're able to live on your budget on your own, even if it's tight, that's just going to teach you in the future, to be frugal, to be resourceful, and to be responsible. And, even when you start making more money and don't have as tight of a budget, you'll know how to, live within your means, save up money, and, be set up for a better future, essentially. It's if you have the option to get out of that situation, there's no reason keeping yourself in, because the worse you let it get, the harder it is to come back from it. It's possible, but it gets harder. So you owe it to yourself to get out of the situation that's causing your issues. Get out on your own. Learn to manage that tight budget, and you'll be better off in every way because of it.
That's some quality advice, Austin. We appreciate you sharing your story, man, because there's a lot of people out there that are feeling the same way in the same situation that you were in a while back, and then you letting them know, what you've gone through. It's nice to know that somebody else is out there is going through the same shit you've gone through. And I don't know, it puts you in a better state of mind. So,
it's not easy to live through, and it's really not easy to talk about. But if I can help someone, then great.
It's a good benefit. We appreciate you sharing, dude. I'm sure she'll fucking appreciate that too, because she's probably going, thinking the same fucking thing. But yeah, I totally agree with you, man. If she has the means to, even if it's gonna be tight, she should definitely move out. And like you were saying too, if you live on that tight budget and you're struggling, not necessarily struggling, but if you taste that, like that whole, okay, I have to live on this tight budget, and then eventually you start making a little bit more, you can always revert back to that tight budget. You can think back, I remember when I was living on like ramen and water and this and that, and it's just like you always have that in the back of your head, like, I made it through this, now I'm doing a little bit better. But you can always, I don't know, kind of revert back to that mode when you need to. But yeah, I would definitely recommend getting out of there too, especially for your mental health. Like right now, I live with my sister and a boyfriend. I'm very, very, very thankful for them letting me live with them. For a while, I didn't have to pay any sort of rent. I did pay like the Wi-Fi bill, but that was like nothing. My sister was just helping me get on my feet, because I got fat loans, and I was new to the job market coming out of college and stuff like that. So big shout out to them. And now, I'm starting to pay more rent. I'm just starting to move into that kind of that adult role, and I'm getting hit with, like, thankfully, I mean, not thankfully because of COVID, but right now student loans have kind of like been put on pause without interest rates. So that's been helping me out a ton, but those are eventually going to siphon back in. I'm going to have to pay a lot. So, there's a lot of us out there kind of going through similar situations, and, it's just kind of nice to be reminded that, somebody else out there is going through shit just like you're going through. But so keep your head high, move out. I recommend moving out too. And, just get yourself in a better spot. Maybe in a couple months you have a better relationship with your parents after you move out. Maybe that was holding your relationship back a little bit. So, but yeah, that's my half price life advice as well.
I might be inclined to give different advice if this person had a strong relationship with their parents and living with them wasn't an issue. I'd say, stay there while you can, save up, until you're in a better position where you don't have to, live on the edge. But if they are the source, if living with them is the source of your issues, and you need to get out of that environment.
Definitely.
COVID or not, recession or not, it's not worth to continue to damage your well-being over it if you have the option to not be there.
Definitely. And I don't know, sometimes I'll say something and I can't remember if, like, what direction when people listen to it, I don't know if they're going to hear it one way or another. But I mean, I'm very thankful for obviously the situation that I'm in, because, I have a great relationship with my sister, great relationship with the boyfriend. I have a good relationship with my parents as well. But still, sometimes, you want to get out, you want your own place, you want freedom. So I mean,
Especially I have to imagine if 2 years ago you have to be, at least 28 by now.
yeah,
It's got to be tough to be, late 20s living with your parents as opposed to early 20s.
hmm for sure. But anyways, Candy, hold tight, do your thing, get a place if you can, and hopefully we hear back from you in a couple months and you're doing a lot better. That'd be really, really cool. So that is our half price life advice. Always take it at half price because it's coming from Austin and I. But
This one hits a little too close to home, though. So
yeah, so there's a little bit more than half
This is
price.
not a sarcastic
This is
answer
maybe
in any way.
a little more full price life advice.